All right, Patrick, first topic is Sleepy 23. You and I did an episode at the beginning of this year. I think it was like January 1st or January 2nd. Actually, I think you were still hungover, so it was probably January 1st. And we talked about our theme, where we thought this year was going. And I kind of dubbed this year Sleepy 23. I thought it would be a very sleepy year. I thought it would just kind of be a very flat year for real estate, given what we went through in the back half of 2022. I'm starting to think I may have been wrong. Because now I'm not fully admitting defeat yet, but I'm starting to think that I was a little bit wrong, because what I am seeing is a lot more activity in January than we usually see. Now, could it be a little bit of a backfire, if you will, a little bit of a spurt that's not going to continue throughout the rest of the year? Yeah, could be. But we are seeing some statistics and some charts, Patrick, specifically on like the months of inventory that has declined sharply. We've also seen the 34% of the deals that went through in the back half of January, the last 2 weeks, 34% of them are higher than the list price, meaning above asking. Some of this stuff is, we weren't seeing any of that in the back half of 2022. Interesting start to 2023. Was I wrong about Sleepy 23?
Well, I think it's how you define Sleepy 23. How do you define sleepy? So, there's lots of activity, but it's really definitely not the volume of activity that was happening before. Having said that, deals are going through. They're in some cases getting multiple offers. There's a lot of those conversations. But at the end of the day, when we see that supply remains low, we'll talk about that shortly. So is it sleepy? It's still pretty sleepy when you consider that it's a question of volume, even comparatively to pre-COVID or back in 2019. And certainly from a real estate investor perspective, things have slowed down. But overall, I don't think you have to define sleepy in a tighter context.
Well, let me define sleepy from my perspective, Patrick. It's kind of like, it's just flat. That's what I meant by Sleepy 23, is just flat, meaning not a whole lot of upside, not a whole lot of downside, just mostly like a flat real estate, a flat stock market. I would define as a sleepy market. There's not a whole lot happening. It's not tearing up. It's not tearing down. There's not a lot of drama around it. It's kind of sleepy. That's what I meant. But that's not what started so far. I've spoken to many people. I'm seeing it firsthand in the market. But I've spoken to many, really big time realtors, big time mortgage brokers, and they're getting a lot of action. I'm seeing a lot of realtors that have done more deals in the first part of January than they have done in the first quarter, typically. Pretty interesting, given that it's, the economic environment we're in.
Again, I think you're right in that there's lots of that activity, but in terms of sheer volume, it definitely has, quieted down. So sleepy is, I don't know if sleepy is the right term. Those realtors who are top performers, real estate investors who are sophisticated, there's lots of drama actually around real estate, particularly when you get into the pre-construction stuff that was going on in Toronto. Lots of buyers have buyer remorse, lots of kind of drama around, builders who have dropped their price, subsequent to already selling units at a higher price. So there's lots of that kind of drama going on. Many investors, so-called investors, which we would refer to as speculators, now are kind of backtracking, and they're going, the Bank of Canada did this to me, or the builder did that to me. And, lots of those speculators are feeling a lot of pain. They're anticipating, a lot of bills coming their way that they can't cover, mortgages that they can't get. And they're looking to blame somebody else and get out from underneath the accountability and the responsibility for the decisions that they made when they got caught in the FOMO.
Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that either.
Back in mid or early 2022, JG. So there is some drama. Does that make it sleepy? No. But does it really matter in the big picture? Not really.
I should have known that you would chase out the drama. You do love the drama, Patrick. You do love the drama.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Mr. Drama. Yeah, okay.
So Sleepy 23, from my perspective, interesting. I made this call at the beginning of January based on the last half of last year, but definitely interesting spurts and starts to this year. Very, very curious. I'm more fascinated than ever to see what happens to the spring market and when the spring market will kick off. Traditionally, the spring market is really determined, Patrick, by a couple things. One is the weather of the region. Like, for example, the spring market of Timmins, Ontario is very different than the spring market of Toronto, because Timmins has snow for like 2 extra months other than Toronto. So I'm very fascinated to see where the spring market's going to go. I'm keeping my eye closely on this thing, but I think that and as I merge into another topic of supply and the supply crisis, this concept of Sleepy 23, I may have been wrong, and I will make an official call whether I was wrong in March. I'll tell you that. Make that commitment.
I'm looking forward to it. If you're interested in learning about investing in real estate the right way, look at our Real Estate Investing in Canada program. 15 steps to successfully investing in real estate. Thousands of real estate investors have learned the right way to invest in real estate following those 15 steps. You're absolutely going to love that program. Take a look. Click on the link in the description below.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe. And if you've enjoyed this, please share it with someone that you know, because it's going to be incredibly valuable to them. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so please comment below. If you want to see more stuff like this, click here. If you want to see the entire show, click there.